I feel passionately about math.
I love math. Part of my job is to coach teachers and make sure all of our students are learning math at a really high level. And it's so fun and engaging for me to ensure that all of our students are getting really rigorous math instruction.
Classkick exists because we believe that in this day and age, students deserve incredible learning tools that create better opportunities for them in their future. I was a high school math teacher here in Chicago on the West Side, and I loved teaching. My students made awesome growth. I was so proud of them. Later, I leveraged my engineering background at Google and YouTube, but I also thought about my teaching and my students and learning every single day that I was there. So eventually I started just building what I would want to use as a teacher and what I thought all the hardworking colleagues and teachers that I know and look up to would want to use in their classes every day. And that's how Classkick got started. Classkick is a virtual desk that students and teachers collaborate on, and it really brings them together by taking friction out of the classroom so that teachers and students can do all the day-to-day activities that happen, like collaboration, feedback, student practice. Research shows that the #1 driver of student learning outcomes in the year is more practice and more feedback for students. And so that's why we focus on that.
For learning math, Classkick really allows each student to access and showcase their work in a variety of ways. So whether it be using the voice feature, having drawing features, having access to the camera, and the raise hand feature lets me know where students are at and how I can meet their needs.
Classkick has transformed my approach to teaching math because it allows me as a special education teacher to allow the students who need extra supports or different accommodations to still access the content that we have to teach in our curriculum.
With Classkick, as you're creating the slides, you're really anticipating what answers you might get. And then it allows you to monitor student thinking in the moment as opposed to having to go around and check each and everything. And then when you're sequencing and selecting those answers to present for class discussion and collaboration, you get to really handpick, and you can keep it anonymous for the kids. So you can let a student who's maybe quiet and introverted shine just as much as that kid who's raising their hand and shouting at every moment.
And using Classkick, teachers are able to see in the moment what students are able to do, what their struggles are. They're able to see their explanations through drawing, through pictures in their work. And so it's really easy for teachers to say, show me your evidence, show me your work, before the teacher gives them feedback.
I think the most empowering thing about using Classkick for students is especially the way we use it in terms of having answer boxes and that automatic feedback, so students can automatically see whether or not they're understanding the math problems. And it's so nice to just kind of all of a sudden you hear a kid go, yeah, because they realize that they understood what they were supposed to be doing. And even if they get it wrong, they can recognize, like, I need to fix something, I need to go back.
Every school year, over 10 million students do all their work on Classkick. And we're even a fan favorite in some of the world's top education systems. For instance, the #1 education system in the world, which is in Singapore, over half the kids in the country use Classkick this year.
I extremely love it. It allows us to bring technology in the room to actually teach the lesson itself and use it with each other in the classroom.
It makes teaching a lot easier. We can skip the part where we have students look up and down from the screen because all the work is right there on their tablet and they can follow along with me as I teach.
It's the tool that I needed to be my most effective self for the scholars. You know, we're using the screens and we're projecting, and it gives you more mobility because you don't have to stay stationary at the front and model it, but you can model while you're being mobile. So it gives you that extra flexibility that you need in the classroom and that the scholars require.
Something incredible we're beginning to see is how we are uniquely leveraging AI with student learning. Something that teachers can do is assign every student their own virtual teaching assistant, or TA, if they want it. And that TA helps coach them through anything they're working on without providing the answer. And it reports back to the teacher in a simple and clear way who has mastered what, who still needs support, and can provide those actual supports and extra activities for the students who need it. Previously, it was the case that teachers said, wow, Classkick gives me superpowers. Well, now Classkick can give them an entire team.